In the last assignment, you were introduced or kind of saw what joint frequency and marginal frequency is. So just quick review. Joint frequency is the idea or the numbers, the frequencies that join two ideas like male and football here. Whereas marginal frequency is the ones that you can think about the margin of a paper, like the outside of a paper, the ones that are in the totals column that are on the margins. Well, we can also find something called relative frequency. And this is where some things about probability you've learned in the past kind of come in. And it's basically saying what is the frequency relative to your total is kind of what it's asking. So this one is a foldable that we're going to actually get on Wednesday when we come back to class, but I'm going to go ahead and go through it to help you out with the rest of the assignment. So we're going to focus on just the joint and the marginal first. It says the ratio of the frequency in a particular category and the total number of data values. So particular category, so I just pick something, and then I am going to have a ratio with the total here. So it says use the two-way frequency table below to find the joint relative frequency of students surveyed who like football and are male. So it says of students surveyed. So what that means is out of all the students surveyed, which are 60, I want to know how many like football and are male. So I'm going to go to like football, male. Well, that's 24. So what this means is there are 24 out of 60. So I'm going to say 24 out of 60 males that fall into that category. Well, then we're actually going to take our calculator, and you have two different ways that you can represent this. So we're going to get a decimal, 24 out of 60. So we get 0.4. So sometimes you will see it just left like that, especially in a frequency table that we're about to create. But most of the time when it asks you for this, it's going to want you to do it as a percentage. So just take that number, multiply by 100 to put it as a percentage, which is 40%. So that means 40% of the people surveyed who like football are male. Okay. So let's look at another example of joint frequency. It says use the two-way table below to find the joint relative frequency of students who prefer sugar cookies and are female. So of all the students, we're looking at the ones who prefer sugar cookies and they're also female. That's 20. So that would be 20 out of 100, which as a decimal is 0.2. Convert that to a percentage and you get 20%. So that's joint frequency. That's when it's talking about the inside pieces that are kind of joining your table together. The other one is marginal frequency, and it's going to ask you more about totals. So it says the ratio of the sum of the joint relative frequency in a row or column. So sum of joint frequencies would be your marginal frequency. That's your total. And it's going to say that ratio with the total number of data values. So this ratio with that ratio, something like that. One thing I want to point out about this foldable, for some reason there is a typo. These numbers are supposed to add to 30, not 3, so it's missing a 0 in all these. If I forget, somebody remind me to fix that tomorrow. Okay. This says use the two-way frequency table below to find the marginal relative frequency of students surveyed who are male. So out of all the students surveyed, that would be 60 people surveyed, so that's what you're going to say that we're out of. We're looking at only the ones that are male. So if you look total male, well, that's 42. So we're doing 42 out of 60. So we're going to divide 42 divided by 60, and we get 0.7, which when you multiply by 100 to give you that percentage, that is 70%. So 70% of all the people surveyed were male. All right, next it says use the two-way frequency table below to find the marginal relative frequency of students who prefer sugar cookies. So here's all the people that were surveyed, the ones that prefer sugar cookies. You would look in the sugar cookie column, you see that there are 35 of those people. So 35 out of 100. As a decimal, that's 0.35, which is 35%. So 35% of the people surveyed liked sugar cookies. So anytime it's asking you for, you'll see the word relative, or it'll say out of the people surveyed, or it'll say ratio or something like that, you're going to get these percentages. So it's not really asking you for how many males play basketball anymore. It's asking you more for percentages and probability, and you'll see the word relative frequency. So that's kind of what you want to look for to answer questions like this.